Start the game already. Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, hello for whoever's watching. Here we go. Launching the round 2 game between Ph0s and Traistorm. Both very good DM players, both very good show players in their own right. We're opening with Ph0s at roughly 3 o'clock and Trey at roughly 7 o'clock. Both starting out with 2 TCs. Interesting. There goes the third. You know, I played Trey a little bit yesterday, and he is really, really fast. You can see some barracks here from home. Looks like he's going to walk legs across the map. They probably already scanned, probably know where each other are. So, yesterday, I got BD'd by Trey. It looks like he's probably going to do the same thing here. They'll heading up to behind enemy lines, behind Ph0s's enemy lines. Ph0s setting up a little bit closer to the middle of the map. You can see maybe a little bit more green expanding across the board. But that Vil... Uh-oh. Will Ph0s see it? I don't know, man. Here comes the paint. Looks like Ph0s might be running... No, he's not running a Vil. Instead, he's putting down a tower. Okay, he does see it, though. He's got legs heading back. So we'll check in on that BD here in a second to see how it's going. Meanwhile, confrontation in the middle of the map. Oh, this is so interesting. So Trey got 1 Rax down, and Ph0s probably knows to look for this because this seems to be kind of Trey's style. So I think we can assume that that BD is neutralized. We're just going to focus on the main action here. Trey now painting up the map toward 10. You can see a little bit more green on the board than blue at this point, but still a lot of action here in the early moments. Let's see, pop 60 for Ph0s, pop 60, wow, they're like mirrored. Ph0s 62, Trey 69, a little bit of a margin there growing for Trey. Wow, look at so much paint across the map. They just totally painted the whole map in like 4 minutes. That's amazing. Okay, so Ph0s 74, Trey 90, growing. Trey has some towers on this nice hill. And Ph0s has yet to really... Okay, so he's got his tower array up toward 10 o'clock then. Trey charging down the hill. He does have hill advantage. This could get dangerous for Ph0s because his eco is... well, first eco anyway. Houses are exposed. So we'll have to watch that. Trey with another BD. This is problematic. The distractions seem to pay off for him. Because if you look at the pop count, well, it's pretty even. Trey at 123, Ph0s at 126 now. So it's interesting how the action is moving up toward the top of the map, right? Ph0s is moving his eco left, starting to build. He's got towers up, he's got his farms, his initial farms up, his racks, and Trey's going to get in on the TCs, but he won't be shutting down food production. He will be shutting down... Yeah, he will be shutting down stone. And for Ph0s, I don't think he's going to get housed. He could. He does need to start throwing down additional houses. Is he doing it? Yeah, he is. And he's really mobile. And I guess that's one of the keys here in Show War is if you can move around, you're okay. So Trey now moving up the line into an array of towers. Gonna raid Ph0s's eco, and Ph0s doesn't quite have the numbers to counter this yet. He's gonna have to move some of his guys off farms. He doesn't have towers there to shut that raid down either. So you got about double the number of legs for Trey into Ph0s's eco, and Ph0s is diverting resources now. Let's check in on the action at 10. Ph0s is making headway here, and Trey may have to shut down his production there. I think he's slightly overwhelmed. Trey moving a ton of legs, meanwhile, into Ph0s's existing eco. Let's look at numbers. 153 for Trey, 134 for Ph0s. Slight advantage there for Trey, who is now elected to move his legs back down. I think he's realized that Ph0s has the numbers now to respond to that threat. Trey pumping some legs out of this back door. All of Ph0s's original TCs are now down. Does he have any? No, let's check Vil count. That's really interesting. 68 for Trace, 74 for Foz. Not going to hurt him for now. His game state may kind of grind to a halt, though. You don't really have the fill production or the eco to sustain these large leg pumps for much longer. Trey has 32 on food. It's decent. Foz has 42 on food. Also good. Foz seems to have... Wow. Seems to have regained the advantage here toward the middle of the map. You can see the concentration of green. Meanwhile, Trey moving up behind Foz's legs, going back for the eco. He's going to run into some towers. No, he doesn't have TCs right now. There's one gen. Trey banged down all of Foz's TCs. Yeah, I only see one right now. Trey, again with a raid. Foz responding to it. Towers and legs should be able to handle that, no problem. Raid into Foz's eco. Looks like you got about 20 of Trey's legs heading in. Huge mass of legs toward the center of the map. Foz is responding, I think, adequately, but he needs to move his farmers. They're going to get beat down here. Traistorm now at pop 118 and falling slightly. Foz at 127. Oh man, this is fun. These guys are so good, so good. Like the way they're responding to these threats and moving around the map and just allocating resources it's really impressive. Foz now banging down the door to Trey's eco. He has a hill bonus with about, I don't know, I would say 50 legs or so ready to move in, and Trey doesn't really have the tower array to fight this. They're downhill, and man, Foz is kind of playing it safe, or at least safer. Let's look at the raid again. Oh man. Foz is at 108, Trey's at 112. Again, this game state slowed down substantially. About half population count of what it could be because of the raids. And then Trey, he hasn't built up his eco because he was focused on backdoors and raiding. So let's see if they can stabilize. Meanwhile, green back on farms. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 TCs back where he started. Trey just waiting to counter this push by Foz. Putting down a couple of towers now. Foz has some legs in on Trey's houses. Trey's safe though. He's got space for pop count of 216. So no real threat there yet. Trey's pop climbing slightly above Foz now. Foz probing, prodding, moving around. I think he's just moving a couple legs over to the 2 o'clock position for safety. Trey claiming stone where Foz should be. Trey farming right next to Foz. Trey has... Oh my god, this is amazing. So now Trey sees it, Foz in, but he's going to run into these towers, and Trey's kind of scooped up that side of the map. Let's look at Foz stone. Foz could claim this stone, but he doesn't really have any in the bank right now. Oh, where's this gonna go? Wow, this is something. All right, let's look at pop numbers again. Trey climbing, Foz climbing. They're roughly mirrored, and idle management also just pretty good, pretty good. Let's look at bill count. Have they climbed at all? 112 now for Trey. So Trey, ooh, this could get dicey for Foz. Trey seems to have a more established eco. Farm's kind of pretty. I mean, it's tough to do everything at once, but farms are looking pretty good. Foz is more scattered across the map, I would say. Hill bonus back for Foz, running some towers. Foz coming in to clean up these stone miners. Tower on the hill now. Foz with 21 on stone. Where's that happening? Foz raking in the stone back close to his original eco. He's going to spend some resources now to try to secure this stone mine, I think. But still running into towers, and you know, you just can't do this. You can't deal with this because you start chopping away at these towers and these towers hit you. You need a huge mass of legs just to clean up this and make that stone mine accessible. Really rough. Trey with the numbers now, pushing uphill against Foz. Foz still trying to cause trouble here, but he really needs numbers, and I don't know. He's got 73 on food, none on gold. This will soon become a problem. Does he see it? Can he do anything about it? I mean, he can, but he needs to soon, because he's out of gold now. I've done this. My farms are always ugly as fuck, Jen says. Trey with 11 on gold, 51 on food. Foz has the food, but not the gold income. Is going to get some on gold. He's still pumping, but he's out now. Yeah, okay, he's got it. He's got it. Oh, man, Foz just pushed off a ton of farms, though. Only 56 on food now. Banging down the back door that Trey set up earlier. These are all green. Those are blue. Okay, still a little bit of a threat hovering over his farms for Foz, but not a huge deal. Foz at 182 pop, Trey at 162, checking Vil count. 159 for Foz. How did he do that? Oh my god. All that food production. And he's back, baby. He is back. Oh, this is so good. 21 minutes and counting so far in game 1 of this round 2 matchup between Ph0sphorus or Ph0sphorus or Ph0sphorus and Traistorm. Both great players in their own right. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great game, says Jen. Not that it hasn't been already, but what she's really saying is it's gonna drag on forever. We've got so many more back and forths here this round. Oh yeah, well, still, I think it's gonna be a long game. Nobody has the stuff to really shut down the other right now. What I'm very interested in is this stone mine. I think this will tell a lot of the difference, and Foz trying to mass up numbers, but he still doesn't have it, you know? He just doesn't have what it takes. He's barely got enough to fight these legs. He needs to move those Vils, because they will be going down. Let's check timeline. Look at this undulation in the pattern. But they're both so evenly matched that, this is something. Yeah, well, I got coffee. I'm just super grumpy in the morning. I hate mornings. I don't like them. And what I dislike more is knowing that I got up from nothing. Yeah, it's still first game. Still first game, Mojo Joro. Oh, that's interesting. First time chat. Welcome, bud. Trey, raiding Foz's eco yet again. He's all about these raids. Foz banging down these towers, or trying to, but again, what we're saying, look at the range on these towers. He has to get in, counter these legs, and kill these towers while being pelted by all of these in the background. If he can just get these down, he's got access to his stone. But, I mean, that is so tough. Lots of towers now for Foz. Let's check. He has 7 on stone, mopping up the gold at 10 o'clock. Trey seeing it, trying to deal with it. Lots of towers, though. He will pick off some of these Vils. He will take down a tower or two. Foz now moving into the background. What's he doing? Tower behind the lines. Really interesting. Almost all of these Vils having gone down for Foz now. Checking in on the action. Towers on the hill. Operation Eliminate Towers still kind of in effect. Small pump here for Foz. He needs more if he's really going to do the job. Now the action is shifted, and Trey has the numbers, so he will be threatening these stone miners. Foz off stone for now because of that. We'll check back in a second. Towers on the hill, legs on the hill. Huge pump for Trey. He's going to try to push. Foz responding. I don't know if he can do it in time. Meanwhile, Foz has pushed, let's see here, like 9 farmers off, and he 80 farmers to 91 farmers. Trey not bothered by this. I mean, it was a good move, but it's not going to pay off quite yet. Looks like Foz is losing the battle on the hill. All these towers are Trey. He's pumping, but he needs to retreat or he will lose that most recent pump of legs. Meanwhile, Trey now threatening the main farming mass for Foz. Foz responding with towers, but needs a pump, because that's a lot of legs. That's like 20 legs moving into his farm eco, and he's going to have to shut that down for now. These are the swings that decide games. He has 86 on food, 21 on gold. Pop count, though, major difference now. Huge margin for Trey, 213 to 156. Trey is moving in on the left. He's moving in on the right. Oh, man, this is so rough. Will Foz be able to respond? Let's look at the Vil count. Not much of a difference there. Foz had a high of 177. I don't think he has it now, though. No, he can't. Well, he can. He can. Looking at 0.5 numbers here. Wow, Trey has the legs to beat down all of these towers for Foz. That was a very costly investment. I don't think Foz will again get access to this gold mine. So it's going to come down to that, I think. Mineral resources. I think Foz now again safe. Trey scooping up gold, middle of the map. That's trouble. Foz needs to deal with it, but he really can't until he can mass up the numbers, and he's having to focus on the left side because Trey is pumping all of his numbers to that side. Oh man, this is something. This is something. Trey now starting to dominate the left side of the map. Foz controlling the left side of the map more or less. These towers will soon go down though. All of these towers on the left will go down. Foz losing this gold at the 10 o'clock position. Trey's going to scoop that up. Let's look at gold gathering overall. 12 to 10. Kill count, definitely Trey advantage. Timeline shifting in favor of Trey. Sure looks like the game is going this way. What was this? Misbuild? Misclick? Trey now with a massive legs moving in to defend these last two standing towers. But those legs are being pelted down by this tower array on the hill. It used to belong to Foz, now it belongs to Trey. Foz still working to secure the right side of the map. Trey moving in with a pump of legs. Yeah, Foz does have the towers and the numbers to repel that. Effectively walling now this area of the map. Yeah, Trey got bounced off. He can move in, but I think just choosing not to out of safety. Huge numbers now for Trey moving in. Foz pumping to respawn. Did not see this raid, but it is happening. Foz been moved off of a good number of farms. He does have the food and the gold to keep pumping, but 237 to 177. I think most of that is legs. Oh man. Trey now moving forward. He's gonna be battered back by this tower array on the hill. This is a good position for Foz to kind of regroup and restructure, reorganize. But I think, yeah, it's just coming down to resources now. Coming down to resources. Let's check that gold gathering margin again. And oh man, yeah. And Trey also has more kills, fewer losses. So I think slow death here for Foz. I mean, he shouldn't call it yet, but it does seem to be trending that way. Trey now with enough numbers to feel comfortable moving uphill against Foz. Foz with a pump, responding. Trey moving back. Interesting. Massing up. I think just realizing he can bide his time. He doesn't need to risk these legs. He can just mass up and come back with bigger numbers. But Foz also, oh my god, 103 on food, no gold. And he calls it because he ran out of gold. Oh man, wow, what a deal. What a game. Let's look at numbers. Again, gold gathering margin, you just can't overcome that. Not with Cho War. KDA, well, you know, slight margin, almost 200 there. Timeline, you saw all this back and forth, all the way up to 20 minutes, you know? That's why you know these guys are so evenly matched. And then it comes down to topography and access to minerals. Map was super fun. Super fun. Ugh. And pretty even, you know? It was a pretty even map. Pretty open start for both players. Less so for Trey. This forest here. But they really made the best of it. Wow. Good game. Good game one. That took about 30 game minutes or 15 real minutes. It's a fairly long Cho War game. And one quality of these Cho Wars is there's just so much going on across the map, and they can take so long. They do get rather grueling. So it'll be interesting to see if one player can wear the other down using their own tactics. You know, we saw in game one that Trey utilized a backdoor, and Foz spent some time responding to it. Different colors now. Foz red, Trey blue. Trey locked into a pretty small eco area. What? Did Foz decide that that was going to be a problem? That gold and stone, it's fucked. Jury, do we agree? Yeah, I guess he's asking if he lost his restart. I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, a restart's a restart for bad map, right? Jen, I guess we need you to weigh in here, or Doc. Okay. Dirt saying he lost it. Okay, good. He used his re. That seems to make sense to me. I mean, that's what a re is for. Yeah, I just didn't really know what the rules are, is the thing. I didn't know why he was asking if he lost his restart. Like, it just challenged my thinking. There can be another one? Well, Jen, does that mean that you decide at the time whether he forfeited a game or he gets the re? Or are you just deciding whether you give him another one?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was an odd re. I mean, Trey was pretty locked in to his eco. That's never a good thing. Okay. So we should figure this out right now, right? Whether he gets another one, whether that map was bad enough that he should get another one. I don't think so. I mean,
yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. That was that took the wind out of our sails. Let's get it back. So Foz at 9, Trey at God, Trey's in hell, man. This is not great. This is not what you want to see. Except that he can expand out here pretty quickly and maybe have some safety, but he's not going to have a good time farming by his original eco. I think oh wow, 2 safe stone. 1 good stone, not a bad stone, and then you neutral down here at 6. I think I like Foz's map more. I gotta say he probably, I mean, he definitely is going to be happy about that re. Yeah, this would be a good re for Trey, as far as I'm concerned anyway. I mean, he could tower this hill and probably protect this. A safe gold, 2, 3 safe golds, 1, 2, 3 relatively safe golds for Foz. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th one pretty far exposed out on the map. And it'll come down to map positioning. We're going to have to engineer that. Or Foz is going to have to push the map around and get in front of that. Same for Trey here, down by the 4 o'clock position. Conflict already on the map. We have overwhelming numbers for Trey. Reinforcements coming in for Foz. Back door down by 8 o'clock. We'll keep an eye on that, and if we see blue dots moving toward Phos's eco, we will check back. Right now, Phos doesn't seem to be responding to that, although he does have racks down. This is going to be pretty devastating. Already 3 racks down for Trey, while Phos tries to dominate the front lines. Let's check food. I mean, he's down to 7,800 food. Numbers, though, huge number advantage for Phos. Trey's going to need that back door if he wants to regain some equilibrium here, because Phos has enough numbers to take down these towers. No more tower builders. Phos has more towers on the front line. Now, Blue Dot's moving into eco. Is Phos going to see it? Will he actually sustain any damage? I mean, he's going to run into maybe a housed situation, but it's going to take a while. He probably already sees the damage. Vill's moving forward and up toward 12, though, so I mean, he's pretty safe. Let's look at numbers again. 83 in climbing for Trey, 125 in climbing for Phos. Phos still with the advantage. Tower's almost banged down here on the original conflict line. Trey farming down around 6 o'clock because he does see the back door. Is he housed? Yeah. Oh, he's housed. He is housed. But Trey kind of getting close to that situation too. Okay, so Phos is rebuilding houses down by the 6 o'clock position. No longer housed, but the pop count has somewhat evened out now. Phos expended a lot of resources here, a lot of units to try to get rid of these towers. He now has the middle ground. Main conflict has moved up to the 12 o'clock position, where Trey has the numbers right now. But he is fighting a fair number of towers on a hill, and Phos is pushing in reinforcements. 150 to 153 now. Trey has he's kind of neutralized the advantage. Trey with enough legs, though, now starting to move in behind Phos's position, and he's building. Did the builder get picked off? Yeah, so 2, 4, 6, 8 racks. That's enough to do some damage. It's enough to be a nuisance for sure. Trey has found this farming eco for Phos, and he's moving in a little bit, probably diverting these legs from the backdoor pump, or from the backdoor racks. Trey moving in for a raid now. Phos kind of compelled or obligated to follow. Trey moving legs forward to beat down this tower array. He has started to set up his own towers. He now has the numbers. He has the legs. He has the tower advantage, and that puts Phos's farm eco in some real danger. Let's check numbers again. Trey at 160, Phos at 157. So no real emergency yet for either player. Phos having to counter a Trey raid into his farming eco. Trey is just about to the point where he can spill his legs down into this main farming eco. 64 on food for Phos and 8 on food for Trey. He is out of food. He needs to do something about that. He has the wood. I don't know about the Vill count, though. Yeah, he does. He's got the Vill advantage. Just no food, though. He's going to stall out here soon. And Phos has a lot of the map. Trey has a lot of towers. Phos has resources, and he has numbers. Trey's numbers falling now, 105 to 158, but Phos still having to contend with this huge tower array, and beating these down, he's going to get picked off from all of these. A little bit of a problem. Trey still trying to make use of that back door, starve Phos off of minerals, but Phos now with the numbers, he's going to be able to move down and eliminate this BD, I think. Coming forward now to beat down the towers, we're going to see farmers versus farmers again. Guys farming right next to each other because they don't have a choice. Trey just doesn't have the real estate. Beautiful farming, though. Beautiful farm eco. 5, 10, 15, 12. Alright, something like 23 farms there. Wow, what is Phos doing? Phos is moving his legs down to his farming eco. I guess because he can afford to. 187 to 103 now. That's the number count for Phos. Taking out Trey's back door. He's got Vills on gold, Vills on stone. Happy, happy. Let's see, they've both expended their original stone, but 11 on stone for Phos and 15. Alright. Well, we're going to abandon that count because it's shifting. It's a fluid situation. But Trey doing a really good job of shoring up at home and trying to rebuild. he's just running into real estate issues here. Ph0s did a really good job of claiming the map and picking his original farming eco location. Ph0s now moving in for a vicious raid behind the tower array. Trey won't be able to do anything about this. And Mojo Joe Rowe says good game. I got to agree. At this point, it's just towers, and Ph0s seems to have the numbers. Coming back with a vengeance here in game 2. He doesn't seem exhausted at all. He's got vills on 25 on stone, 3 on gold, doesn't really need it, 100 on food. He's just rolling. He can keep pumping and pumping and pumping, and Trey is going to have to call GG here pretty soon. Decisive win for Ph0s in game 2. 14 game minutes, 7 real minutes. So many farms, says Instrumental, our RM friend Instrumental, and Trey does call it. Ph0s moving in, moving his tower array forward. He was just squeezing Trey to death in game 2. So Trey with a very brutal and grinding game 1 victory. Ph0s with a pretty quick snapback, clapback type game 2. Alright. What's game 3 going to bring us, guys? Gold collection, 845. Vil high, 143. KDA, pretty similar here. Pretty similar. It was just a matter of map positioning and map command, really. Around this point, Ph0s had neutralized Trey's backdoor, and he just had so much map control. So many guys on farms. It was just... Yeah, what did we end with? 199. 99 on farms. And almost full pop. Good lord. I mean, it's a pretty simple game, but the amount of multitasking required to be very good at it is just ridiculous. So many things happening at once. And the, come on. Yeah, I got beat down by Black Wolts yesterday, helping him practice, and Traistorm too. My games with Trey lasted like 15 game minutes. Okay, so we have Ph0s red at 12. We have Trey 3 o'clock. Fairly open maps for both. I think they're gonna like this. It's gonna be a big build out here in the middle. I think somebody needs to claim that hill. Racks down the center. That's the main conflict zone. What's cool about this is you got 2 relatively safe stone for Ph0s. You have 1 safe for Trey, 1 decently safe, and then you got this neutral way out here. The game's going to have to migrate across the map, and it'll be interesting to see how they build out. 1 Vil running forward for the traditional Trey backdoor. At this point, Ph0s has to know what's coming. This is just Trey's style, but the question is where. And while you're trying to build out on the map, having to find that sneaky single Vil is, it's a challenge. Ph0s now with a little bit more paint on the board. Trey more concentrated, closer to home. Trey with 1 racks down now. Should be pumping from that pretty soon. Let's see here. Looking at pop count, 34 for Ph0s, 28 for Trey. He's going to be a little bit behind because of that back door. That's just natural. But, ooh, we have a tower. 2 racks down and the Vil dies. 1 tower sniping the Vil. 2 racks now. Still a problem. Still a problem. Trey's going to have to make good use of those 2 racks, and Ph0s will have to keep an eye on it. Absolutely. 2 racks is enough legs to take houses down, and Ph0s can always migrate down toward 9 o'clock, but Trey can get there easily too. Ph0s pushing the action now, a little bit more map control than Trey has, but this will be also kind of a difficult situation. Hopefully Ph0s puts a racks down. Trey making very good use of his more concentrated start, pushing forward. I think we have slightly more blue on the front than we have red, but Ph0s is the one who claims this hill. Some racks, some towers. Let's look back at the action. Yeah, Trey trying to mass. He's going to lose 1 racks here soon. He could get up to 6 to 8 legs 6 to 8 is enough to do some damage and bang down houses. Foz moving toward the 9 o'clock position. Trey mirroring him below towards 6 o'clock. So the challenge for Foz is more open land doesn't have the same safety for his houses that Trey has. Trey loves to raid, so we'll have to watch that. Trey must have... He must have control alt. No, he's microing. He's microing these, and he's trying to bang down those houses. I mean, that's probably his best shot right now. 134 pop to 120 pop, and Foz is housed. That's the situation. Trey with more numbers here, pushing forward, more blue than red. But these towers are helping. It's just, ooh boy, real dicey for both players. Foz trying to collect stone, but Trey legs creating some major disturbances here. Is he... Okay, he's got plenty of houses down now. But he did lose some momentum. Let's check timeline. Had a major bump. Trey neutralized that by creating some disturbances at home for Foz. And Foz now moving forward again on flat ground with towers versus towers. Trey, huge pump of legs, moving forward, taking down this tower array that Foz so diligently put up. Foz just doesn't have the numbers to respond to that. He can go left or he can go forward, but he can't do both and win. Trey with a lot bigger numbers here. 180 to 146. That's mostly legs advantage, I think. Let's look at Vil count. 83 to 74. So yeah, more Vils for Trey at this point. Roughly equal farming economy. Substantially equal gold. 185 to 123. Numbers for Foz are falling. He really is relying kind of on this on the hill tower array. Trey moving forward. He's gonna clean this up, I think. Foz can't contend with this. And what happened with all those Vils? Did Foz lose them? I think he may have. There's a little bit of confetti here, yeah. Lost some Vils. Foz now pushing Trey back, though. That's interesting. I think Trey must have realized or thought that, okay, he did enough damage, he can move back. Huge incursion of blue now. A lot more blue than red on the map as Trey moves up and perilously close to Foz's main farming eco. This is trouble for Foz. Foz could send in reinforcements, but then he'd be vulnerable to this mass of legs that's just waiting to move in for the death blow. This is moving... Oh, okay. And Foz calling it already. Probably didn't need to, but it was getting a little bit dicey. Roughly equal Vil count. KDA, quite a bit of separation there. I mean, timeline was not favorable. He just didn't have a pump, and he didn't have... shit map, he says, huh? I don't know, man. What do you think, everyone? Yeah, I'm doing the 7 p.m. game, Jen. I am. As soon as I'm done here, or as soon as we're done here, yeah, I think his map was okay as well. No gold collected for game 4 of this round 2 matchup between Foz and Traistorm. Both excellent DM players, both excellent show players. Reminder that Foz has used his re. He might think that he wants it, but I actually like his map right now. Build out will be a little bit of a challenge, but he does have a closer hill. So he can paint that up, and I think he'll be just fine. The challenge will be moving out toward 3 o'clock, but I gotta say, 1 decently safe goal, 2, 3. If he can build his front lines quickly enough. I think Trey, 1, 2, 3, fairly safe gold. Yeah. Okay, so the problem for Foz is he's got 2 safe stone, and Trey kind of has 3 safe stone. Foz will have to make some inroads fairly quickly, pick a point on the map to dominate, and do that, so that he can hopefully try to take advantage of one of those free stones. Because really what we have is 3 for Trey and 2 for Foz. But again, I don't think it's enough of an issue because Foz has that hill advantage. He just really needs to make use of it. And he's not painted on the hill. He's tried to paint so forward, and he's getting these vills are getting picked off. Getting picked off by Trey's legs. And let's look at numbers. 39 to 37. Yeah, so those numbers are kind of reflected. Ooh, that's an interesting choice. Alright. Forward towers. Makes sense. Makes sense. Hopefully he paints this hill up, though. I'd really like to see him do that. Lots of racks going down across the map toward the 1 o'clock position. We have 4. Count them, 4. Oh, Foz picks off the Vill again! Trey was going for a 5th rack, but he only got 4, and he'll still be able to mass up a fair number. Foz knows he's there. He knows Trey's there. Trey seemingly able to take advantage of this situation, this distraction he created up toward 1, and pushing forward now. There are a lot more blue legs on the board than there are red. I hope we don't see Foz get mentally fatigued here. He can win this. He's got the map topography to do it. He just needs to draw this game out and build superior infrastructure on the map. Charging up the hill is Trey, though. Legs on legs at the top. Towers picking them off. Let's look at housing situation. I mean, the problem here is Foz is kind of forced to build houses where Trey is painted. So that's a little bit of trouble. Trey, I think, has recognized he really needs to raid quickly. I mean, it's just kind of his nature to do it anyway, but I think he's realized Foz has the map. Foz has the map. Trey pushing him back. We've got 2 major conflicts happening at the same time here. There's a lot going on. Foz putting all of his eggs in this basket toward the 2 o'clock position and deciding he really wants to claim this lane, but he's sacrificing... Is he going to sacrifice his home eco for this? Has he decided he's lost this position already? I don't know, man. But Trey has taken down all these towers on the hill. Let's look at the timeline. Trey's got the timeline advantage. Looking at vills on food, 14 for Trey, 18 for Foz. They both need to be on farms at this point. They both need the food. Wow, Foz raiding the 12 o'clock position. Raiding up the middle, taking out Foz's original eco. Is Foz not close to house, but the number advantage here. Oh my god, did this game slip away already? 162 to 91. I think this game is gone. Wow. I'm stunned. I'm stunned, ladies and gentlemen. That is something, man. That happened so fast. That back door, I think it just created too much of a distraction, and man, Foz really needed to claim this. But Trey got it from him. Oof. And Foz calls it. 3-1. 3-1 Traistorm, who will be moving on to round 3, having conquered a very game Foz with maybe one rough map. And I gotta say, I think in 2 games, those backdoors paid off. I mean, you gotta know what's happening, and you do, and it doesn't really help that you know, because that Vill could be anywhere. And spending that precious time to house scan and trying to find that paint, it just puts you at such a disadvantage. That is so ironic, though. You know it's coming, you just don't know exactly where. Very, very effective strategy for Traistorm. Huge KDA disparity here. 415 kills to 271. Eco, Trey was already on gold. Foz just couldn't get the eco production going. And there's the timeline. This is where it all fell off the rails. Right there. 4 racks backdoor for Trey, creating disturbances at home for Traistorm. Or sorry, for Foz, and Trey was able to march up the hill and take out that initial position. Ooh, wow. Well, that's the end of the round, says Jen.